Hey everybody, how's it going? It's Max and Trev with BuzzTox coming at you with an episode 1 summary, recap,
Boy,
review,
were we
predictions.
wrong.
Yeah, I know. We're going to be discussing everything for this new episode, which I liked. It was good, but I feel like it could have been better.
Oh, wow. Already getting super critical.
I am going to be critical because I'm a huge Thrones fan, and I'm not going to lie to myself and say that it was the best thing ever if it wasn't. There were mistakes that were made, and I feel like it was just because of like lousy writing. It's almost like they just shoehorned this shit in last minute. Like it's almost like they didn't have a cohesive plan in place when they started doing this.
Whoa. You said you were going to go light. That seemed like it went a little, you went the
No,
path of
like,
darkness.
So everyone, like right now, it's sitting at like a 92% on Rotten Tomatoes. But it is a lower score than like the typical Game of Thrones episode. And just my problem with it is that there's like I've watched the show so much, so I know it's almost like I know too much, and the fact that I know too much hindered my enjoyment of it. So, for example, I feel like they did what the fuck moments for the sake of what the fuck moments.
Yeah,
Like,
they did a little didn't seem coming moments in this episode. I do agree with you, but
like
they're
like
classic for that. They're
Yeah.
known for that.
I know, but it's like that's not what I'm bummed about. It's like take Trystane for example. They killed Trystane. How the hell did the Sand Snakes get on that boat?
They're assassins.
Come on, that is so lame. They were like in the middle of the water taking off. They watched them leave.
Yeah,
The
there's faster ships.
Oh my lord! A ship. You're saying that the Lannister ship didn't notice another ship coming up.
No, they're assassins, man.
It's ridiculous. And then the whole thing with Melisandre, I knew as I was watching it with the reveal. Oh, spoilers by the way. I knew while I was watching it.
Does it kind of go without saying, spoilers? If you're watching this, it's post us watching the episode.
Yeah, exactly. But you see her take off the necklace and she turns into this old hag.
Yeah.
All right.
Which is already all over Twitter.
I've already seen her necklace off in season 4.
Yeah.
It is the most frustrating thing ever. It's just little cohesive things like this that annoy me because it just, I don't know, it just pisses me off.
I feel like that's not the only thing that holds our youth.
See, I hope they explain that. And then the whole Sand Snakes thing, like, to me, it was just crazy. But anyways, those are my thoughts. Do you have anything else to add to that?
I feel like you didn't really like the Sand Snakes from the get-go. And they're kind of cheeseball anyways. They're not like they're badass warriors. Like, she ends up stabbing him in the back of the head. Big fucking deal, right?
Yeah.
And it's
And
like
then,
they double-teamed him and then deceived him. So, big deal.
yeah.
Like, and the
But it's
same with the other guys. Like, I get it. Like, they're assassins, right? But
yeah, yeah. And it's just, like, cheesy. Like, they're like, who do you pick? And then like, she, like, stabbed him in the head, and the other girl was like, you're such a bitch sometimes. Like, she, like, said something really stupid. It's just like, oh, my God.
I felt like they could have maybe waited like one episode for that. There was a lot more like that's a premiere, right? Like everyone
Yeah, but
wants
yeah.
questions answered from last one, and it
Yeah.
seemed like they started right. Like I feel like that's the only thing I got right about this episode was the pan in on Jon being the first opening scene. But it's like there were so many other heavy things that they need to answer, like to touch on the sand snakes and then kill the prince. Like I don't know if that's what the story is, and that's what the story is, but I just feel like it was rushed.
Yeah, well, we did get a lot of things wrong in our predictions.
Oh, yeah.
Everything, like, kind of came out of left field. But let's start with the episode recap. We're going to be giving our thoughts on the majority or the most important scenes in the first episode, and then after our episode roundup, we're just going to be kind of predicting episode 2 and see how well that goes.
Yeah, pretty much.
So we start the episode off at the wall. We see the zoom in on Jon. I'm nitpicking here. It was a good episode. But why did Alistair Thorne and all the Night's Watch, or some of the Night's Watch, stab Jon Snow and leave him in the middle of Castle Black and let Davos pick him up?
Serves the story.
Like, see, those little things annoy me. So Davos hears Ghost howling. He's like, oh, I guess I better check it out. and then he goes to Ghost, and then all the good Night's Watch members rally around Jon, including Ed, which I'm very happy Ed made an appearance because he wasn't in the trailers. Made me nervous.
Yeah. He's out rallying though, so we know there's something good to come out of that.
Yeah, so they finally get him into protection. We see Alistair Thorne talking to the Night's Watch and saying, like, we had to kill Jon Snow, whatever. And then the Night's Watch are like, yeah, all right, good point.
Well, hate him as much as you're supposed to. He didn't make a really good point, right?
Yeah.
And so, again, it serves the story.
Yeah.
Like, I think it's a little cornball that literally his body's, like, right in the center of the castle. And it says traitor right above his head. Like, it's so, like, on the nose, but they have to convey this somehow, right? And again, like, our fears are coming true. This stuff is a little rushed. They're going to have to do a little bit of rushing through these parts, basically.
See, it's funny because you say it's rushed. I feel like this episode is actually slower.
You think they took their time?
I thought what would happen, well, in certain areas they did. I thought we would see the fight for Jon Snow's body this episode.
Mm-hmm.
But it's crazy, yeah. At the wall, you see Ed go get the wildlings. You see Davos try and negotiate with Alistair Thorne.
Mm-hmm.
Which means that, I feel like it's going to be postponed till episode 3. Which nothing's wrong with that. I think that's good. But yeah, it was a slower episode, even though like a lot of stuff happened.
Yeah.
I just feel like all the stuff that did happen was just kind of shoehorned in there. But yeah, so we go to Winterfell. We see Ramsay with Miranda,
Mm-hmm.
which I didn't see coming. There was actually a lot of humor in this episode.
Yeah. Well, dark humor.
Yeah, and then so you see like this heartfelt moment with Ramsay, and then you see his psychopathic ways kind of come back, where he's like, "It's good meat, feed it to the dogs."
Yeah.
Did you like that?
Like the dark humor?
Like just Ramsay, like I felt like it's a time to show the human side of Ramsay, and they just immediately throw it out the window.
No, he's a total dark, evil character. I don't think they're trying to pussyfoot around the idea that he has any sort of emotion. He's just a psycho.
Yeah.
Right? He's in it for what he's in it for, and then he's a dark character. That's all that he is. It seems like his dad has a little bit more gray.
Yeah, exactly.
But they don't really focus on him that much in the show. I feel like there's only bits and pieces of Roose.
No, yeah, and then Roose gets, talks to Theon like, "Hey, do you feel like a victor? Like we had a couple victories against, Stannis' really shitty army, but like wait till the Lannisters get here."
Yeah.
So we'll see what happens there. What do you think is next for Ramsay?
Just batten down the hatches, waiting for something to come to him.
Or do you think he'll actually not want to wait for something to come to him? Do you think that he'll actually want to go to the wall? Because that might be the place where Sansa would be hiding.
I don't know. I feel like now he got his dad's scorn to tell him to kind of behave. And as much as he's not one to listen, I feel like the stakes are too high for him to mess up again. So I feel like he's going to stay put, and then whatever's going to happen is going to come to him.
Right. But now, believe it or not, we get a shot of Theon and Sansa, which is actually my favorite part of the whole episode.
Yeah, it was pretty dope. That's something we got right, though. I think we're both in agreement that Sansa was going to be saved by Brienne pretty early on.
Yeah, well, pretty much up to this point, like, I'm, like, seething at the mouth. Like, I'm liking everything that they're showing. I was just nitpicking at the wall, but I still liked it. But yeah, Theon and Sansa on the run. I'm really liking, like, seeing them together, and then, they cross the river, and he kind of, like, tries to keep her warm or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And then Brienne comes out of nowhere. The fight, like, something about this, like, when I watched this, I noticed, and I told you when we were watching it, it seems more cinematic.
Oh, definitely. It's like an extra layer of Hollywood polish to every shot now.
Do you think that was in season 5, or do you think that's just newly season 6?
No, like, that pan-in shot seemed like something out of an Avengers movie. Like, it really
yeah.
is, like, high-end. Like, whether you like it or not, it's still high-end cinematography.
No, it kind of blew me away. Cinematography has been stepped up like
Yeah.
crazy, and
Not that I'm
even-
saying Avengers is, like, the go-to for cinematography, but it's just, there's some sort of polish on there.
No, yeah, and then with the like choreography, it just looks more like gritty. The fighting and like I don't know, just like the camera angles, it seems so much more like a movie than a TV show.
Yeah, definitely.
So yeah, they have this fight. And, like Pod knows how to fight now all of
Yeah.
a sudden. So I guess she has been training him to be a knight. But but my favorite part of the whole episode is when she was swearing allegiance to Brienne.
Yeah, exactly.
I liked how she didn't know it, and Pod was kind of reminding her.
Yeah. It's good.
Are you? So you're still not on Sansa's? Like you're not in love with Sansa,
Not even at all.
right? See, this one scene was enough to make her one of my top
I just, like,
picks for the season.
I don't know, but I don't know about you. I don't like the damsel in distress motif that she's in. Like, I know she seems safe now, but like someone like Arya, which I'm sure we'll get into soon, is just such a stronger character. And they're in both sort of like the same situation, like they're down on their luck. But it's like one's tough and one's relying on everybody else to get them out of the situation.
Yeah, but I see that like that's kind of a part of her journey, and you can see her in this scene. She's very like she's hardened.
A little
in a
bit,
sense.
but
And you see her-
people are holding her hand as she's getting hardened. So
yeah,
it's like,
but it's like she's just getting into it.
I know, but I feel like there's not time for her story to develop.
I think it'll develop tremendously. I feel like you had so much development just in that one scene alone, because you can see her kind of learning how she's taking her position as a head Stark. And it's funny to see she said the same words that Catelyn said to Brienne.
Yeah.
So it's just I like that scene. It was my favorite in the whole episode.
It's so funny because all this like hinges on Jon coming back, but it would be really funny if Jon is dead and gone. Like,
Yeah, I
it
know,
would be
dude.
really hilarious
Well,
because
see-
we wouldn't see that coming at all. And
Yeah.
it seems so obvious to us that he is coming back and that he's important. And that's where my opinion of Sansa's story is like, okay, when Jon gets here, he's either just going to rule the roost and Sansa's story is not going to really matter anymore because she's just going to be tagging along with him, or he's just going to tell her what to do for the time being.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing. Like this scene made me think even more that it's not reliant on Jon. Like it made me think that Jon wasn't revived in the first episode. It makes me think that they're maybe going to push that more because Sansa's job is going to be to rally the bannermen, and it's going to be her army. And Jon will be revived and worry about the wall. He'll worry about the wildlings. He'll worry about the Night's Watch.
See-
And then he'll come over later and reunite with Sansa.
So
And
you
I
think
feel
it's going to be like a three-way battle? Like Sansa
No,
gets
no.
the Bannermen go to Winterfell and them are battling, and then lo and behold, Jon rolls in with the wildlings.
No, I think it'll be a full two-side army. They'll have everything established, but I think Sansa's arc is rallying the bannermen, and I don't think that's Jon's place. So I don't think Jon's gonna take over what she's doing or diminish what she's doing, because I feel like they're gonna have two totally different arcs.
You think Ed makes it out of this and becomes Lord and Commander? Because it's not
I'm
like
thinking-
Jon can leave the wall
yeah.
behind him as a flank.
Well, Jon's done with the wall.
I know,
feel
but they
like-
wouldn't want to know that he's alive, and like he's either going to be in, they're going to be in hot pursuit of him, or he's just going to leave it abandoned or a very, very small post there because of what's coming.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be between Ed and Davos. I wouldn't. I kind of picture Davos kind of taking the black at the end of the show, if there is still a wall.
Yeah, just to hold down
But,
the fort, literally.
Yeah, but let's go from Winterfell to King's Landing here. I couldn't help but laugh my ass off because like
Cersei's misfortune.
You see Cersei, and you see her like smiling more than I think I've ever seen her smile.
Yeah, she's like literally giddy running down the steps of
Yeah.
the castle,
Yeah, and then she gets there,
fallen
and
by
it's like-
Frankenstein.
yeah, I was actually like covering my face because you see her just go from like, oh shit.
Yeah, there's not even dialogue. You just see Jamie rolling up in the
Yeah,
boat
it's like, yeah, sorry, babe.
with the
Kid's
veil
dead.
over a coffin. Yeah,
Yeah, Golden Shroud, and we talked about this in the last video. Yeah, gold will be the crowns, and gold are shrouds. shrouds, and I'm actually surprised because she actually mentioned it.
She actually handled it pretty well. I thought she was going to fly off the deep end. I thought she was going to be the one that killed Trystane out of pure emotion, but she seemed like not surprised.
Yeah, and then see, that was my initial complaint. I was like, well, she's a mother. Why isn't she freaking out? But it's almost like she's been mourning her daughter ever since she left for Dorne.
Yeah, she's come to grips with the prophecy being sort of true.
Yeah, so that's why she's kind of hardened to it. And she even told Jamie, like, it's not your fault. I know it's not your fault. It's set in stone.
Yeah.
So when do you think Tommon will bite the dust?
I think Margery and Loras have to come out, and something's going to happen, some inauguration or some sort of deceit. Like, they do come out, but maybe are executed, maybe something happens. So it's got to be a big ceremonious thing, and then maybe he gets kind of killed in that way. I don't know. You think it's going to be the Faith that take him out? Or he's going to be kind of killed in the proximity of another battle?
Mm-hmm. Well, the thing with the Faith is they're just to their religion.
Yeah, they're fanatics.
So you would never see them harm Tommon because he's like the most innocent dude ever. So I don't know. I feel like he'd be a casualty. And I feel like it would kind of be Cersei's fault in a way.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure. But do you see him maybe growing a pair of balls as a king? Or do you continue seeing him kind of be this pushover, depressed king who doesn't do any action?
I don't know. I was really surprised he didn't make an appearance in this first episode just to sort of check in to see where his emotional state is in all this. Like, you sort of get it through what happens later on in this thing from a dialogue with the Sparrow, but it's not enough to kind of convey what's going on. So I feel like he's going to be sort of a throwaway death. What's just going to happen. I really hope they don't do it something like Trystane, like what they did with Trystane, where he's just killed and that's it. Because how many Lannisters can they kill? Like, all the Lannister kids just get killed. They make a big deal about it. And it's like one after the other after the other.
I hope he gets killed by a character that we like, because I feel like he's kind of like an innocent, like, he's just an innocent kid. And I feel like seeing him be killed by, like, I don't think this will happen, but like Arya, for example, will kind of show, like, I don't know, it'd be kind of a conflict. Like, that's this innocent Lannister, even though Lannisters are seen so poorly.
Yeah.
I think that would be interesting. But, like, right now he's mourning Margery. We saw Margery with the High Sparrow.
Yeah.
It's just kind of like, I guess, a small introductory. But what did he come in there for? I forget. What did he say?
He was saying, Tommon brings me, did he not?
Yeah, he said Tommon brings me, and she was asking about her brother Loras, but he really casually, like, deviated from that. And he said he would talk to Septa Mordane for, like, her cruelty.
Yeah.
It's almost like a good sparrow, bad sparrow.
Yeah, they pulled total good cop, bad cop on her to try and get her, and then she seemed to break a little bit by the way that he responded to her.
Yeah, and then he actually pulled, like, a super manipulative move. He's like, what's it called? He's like, she's like, I'm innocent. He's like, so you're 100% pure? And she's like, none of us are. So he's like, hey, see, you have something to confess. And then he, like, walks out like a boss.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
But okay, so that's done. So we're at Dorne, okay?
Let's just skip over Dorne.
What a shit show. I'm pissed, okay?
Yeah, like, so they didn't even use the big guy. Like, that big guy was dope.
So you have Duran, okay?
He just gets stabbed by a little 4-inch blade in the back, and he's dead.
Yeah, this dumb bitch is walking Duran to his chair, and, like, how good of an actor is he?
Yeah, he was awesome. I like him.
Like, he's awesome. He's like such a cool character. They could have done so much with him, and just immediately, boom, they stab his big black protector.
Yeah.
And him.
Yeah, there could have been, like, a little bit of a fight, so they'd be tense. And all the guards just stood around watching. Like, it'd be cool if all the guards were mutinous and they stabbed them. Like, everybody was on the same page to convey. Instead of this, like, woman that doesn't seem like she had anything to say up until Oberyn's death. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's like, I don't know. It seems so crazy. Now she's got these crazy ninja daughters that are going to, like, rule Dorne.
Oh my god.
And I feel like it's another piece on the chessboard that, I don't know, I didn't ask for another war conflict. Like, what's the point? What's the point at this point? for
Yeah,
another
I
person
don't
to
know.
enter the race.
Like I feel like it killed like killing Trystane and Duran. It like the story's like now like what the whole to me it totally discredited everything season 5 built.
Hmm.
Like every story that they built.
Yeah,
Okay,
because
we'll
it
kill him
seemed
and
like that
Trystane.
relationship was on eggshells.
Yeah, so now it's like we have 3 characters that we never liked in the first place, and they're the only ones left.
It,
So it's like,
it should
what
have
the hell?
been like, I don't know. Again, we don't know the story, so maybe it develops into something, but they really
But
didn't
it's like,
convey that in this episode for
but
sure.
it's like you could say like, oh, it's Game of Thrones. Of course, they kill good characters all the time. That's not the issue.
No.
The issue to me is that killing him doesn't benefit the story anyway. It seems like to me they just killed him for shock value. What do you think she's gonna do in Dorne now?
Yeah.
Like her daughters are in King's Landing.
Oh, 2 of the 3.
Yeah, 2 of them are in King's Landing. So like, what the hell? She's
Oh,
there with.
shit. You just made me realize.
I know. Now they're gonna. Oh shit! They're gonna kill Tommon.
Yeah. They're going to
We
kill
just
the
made
Lannisters fully.
We just made a revelation.
Yeah.
They're so now the shitty writing. Now they're in King's Landing, and now they're in Dorne. So now she guaranteed. She told her 2 daughters, "There's a fight to come. Like, go kill the Lannisters."
Yeah.
So now it's like, what is she gonna do?
Well, I say one of them kills Tommen. The other, one of them gets killed by Franken Mountain, but escapes. It seems like logical at this point.
Yeah, but it's like I don't know how they're gonna include it because so now you have the Sand Snakes in King's Landing, and you also have the Sparrows happening right now. So it's like, what? There's so much going to be happening. Like, and I feel like they're gonna just push them off
Yeah.
to the side. So I'm kind of concerned, and like I'm really nervous. Like, what if you see like the 2 daughters back in Dorne all of a sudden?
Yeah.
Like, I'd be like, what the hell is happening?
Well, it remains to be seen. I know now that they're there to just try and take down as much shit as they can without having to like wage a huge war against the Lannisters. They obviously are awesome at infiltrating, but they didn't show that. That's what bugs me. And they just seem sort of cheesy from the last season. So unless they're doing anything really cool in the next couple of episodes, it just seems like they're lame assassins.
Yeah, and then finally, just the thoughts on Dorne. I feel like it does kind of help the theory that I have of Daenerys kind of her first introduction to Westeros is going to be to Dorne.
Yeah.
Because they do have a history together, and I feel like it would be interesting to see this woman who everyone hates form an alliance with Daenerys.
Yeah.
And you'd see a different side to her too, right? Like she would like love Daenerys and want to be on her side. She just hates the Lannisters.
Mm-hmm.
So I do think it would be interesting to see that kind of alliance.
Yeah, I guess, and that maybe what gets them into Westeros. But again, like, there's something coming that's like that's what's it's not balancing out for me. Is all this stuff doesn't matter, so I don't know what they're getting at with this new enemy.
Yeah, I have no idea. It threw me for a loop. Like I had a totally different idea in mind.
Yeah.
But going to Tyrion and Varys, I thought it was a good scene. It was more of just kind of like a catch up and chill out with these characters.
Yeah.
Like I'm gonna eat your
Check
baby.
in. It was like a check in.
Yeah. It's like I'm gonna eat your baby. He thinks you're gonna eat his baby. It was pretty funny. Like I guess the main point of the scene was we saw a red priest, I guess you would call it him.
Yeah, he was like evangelizing the Daenerys leaving, and Tyrion doesn't like that because it creates these like power bubbles or like fear bubbles.
Yeah, and then so he's not wearing a necklace, so it's like, you know, so he's just a regular priest, and then Melisandre is kind of like a witch priest. Like I don't know where to like draw the line.
I don't know. We'll get in. Like I don't know what I think about Melisandre now. It's almost like there's something going on with her, and I wonder if it's to do with everything that's going on. But
Yeah,
I think we'll get into that later on.
And then so they're continuing walking in Marine, and then the harbor just burned to hell.
Yeah. So it doesn't say, but obviously it's a Harpies. So there's no leaving. There's no coming in. So it's not like they can call backup and have a huge army land in the harbor.
Yeah, see, right as we were watching this, I'm like, oh, I guess they have to fly over. Ha ha.
Only you said that because I can't stand the idea of them flying.
Yeah, so, like, how is, like, would you have any other ideas how the hell they would get to Westeros? Because I feel like it's going to get to the point where Dany's not going to have her army. She's going to have her dragons, and she's going to be like, oh, well, Tyrion, you formed a relationship with one of them, and let's just try and fly him over.
You think they're just gonna like just leave?
Well, how else do you think it would happen? Because I feel like, the Unsullied are slowly, I don't know how much Unsullied she has, but if you have no ships, you can't take any with you, and I feel like they'd stay and protect Marine for her.
Yeah. Because you're just saying roll up with dragons and see what we can do?
Yeah, I have no idea. I don't know, like, how else would they get there? You know what I mean?
I don't know. I think it's gonna be a call to arms for all of them, and it could stem from Sam saying from Old Town, like, this is what's happening. We need to unite.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like when they send those white ravens, it means it's winter. So there could be something else that he's like, enough is enough. The fighting's got to stop because we have a common enemy now.
Yeah, true.
So it's like it might be that all these things are still establishing. So she has to leave there to go there to fight this now common threat.
Yeah, exactly. But she can't fight a common threat until she gets rescued. So we see Jorah and Daario, just kind of a catch-up between them.
Yeah.
I like them together.
Yeah, they're
I
good.
think it was a good scene. Yeah, it was a good scene.
Jorah's infection's getting worse, definitely. Still on the arm, though, it looks like. Just the arm.
Yeah, a bit worse. Daario seems like he's kind of... they're kind of slowly, like, they're kind of picking at each other, but in, like, a really nice way.
Well, because they're kind of hunting the same prize.
Yeah, he's like, why do you like her? He's like, you know why.
Yeah.
And then Jorah throws in he's like, I'd love to live old and be romantic like you. And Jorah's like, if you live that long, pretty much.
Yeah, exactly.
So, and then they find the ring. Watching the trailers, it made it seem like, holy shit, they're going to find this ring in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah.
But totally justified. You see the tracks forming a circle where she was standing.
Yeah, that's like the last scene that she was in from the last season.
Yeah, totally justified.
Yeah. No, like, I know it would be such a ridiculous thing to be able to find that ring in the middle of nowhere. But it makes sense. There's a ring of trampled ground by a huge horde of horse riders, and yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So now they know where she is. Because they know it was the Dothraki horde.
Mm-hmm.
So they know where they're going now.
Yeah.
So it's really just how long do you think it'll take them to get there?
Well, do you think you could just roll up on the camp like that? And especially like their main city? Because I feel like the Dothraki are supposed to be like the Genghis Khan style army of this world. And they don't those guys don't mess around. They're like barbarians.
Yeah, so I don't know if Dany, do we see Dany's dragon? So I don't know if she's going to kind of save herself. Or if they're going to sneak in and get her. I don't know. I feel like that's kind of impossible.
Well, it seems like she's being shipped away now from even this scene. So she kind of talked her way out of this scene into another thing.
Yeah, so Dany right now is trapped. So you have this moment where she's walking and they're making oh, do you think her white hair matches her pussy hair? And it's just all right. And then you get nervous that it's going to be back to square one.
Yeah, they were disrespecting her, and then she reveals herself as literally the queen.
Yeah, you think it's going to be raped by another Cal, but then she speaks up, and then they're like, oh, wow, you're a widow. Okay, we have a special place for widows.
Yeah.
You have to live in this dome-looking room with all these other widows.
Yeah, so it's almost like a nunnery for all the calls.
Yeah, it's like a trophy room.
Widow.
It's weird.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we didn't see her go into the temple room, but I think we left off where they
her
told
fate
her that,
is
right?
sealed there now. So that's her quest line, I guess, for now.
So now that's her spot. So I think we're gonna see her just in there for an episode. But I feel like we're gonna be moving really fast.
Yeah, it's gonna kick into gear. I feel like it already sort of did. There is certain things that they didn't do, but I like I said, they had to add weight to Jon's death. I'm glad that they didn't bring him back first episode.
Yeah,
Even though I was predicting that they would, I'm really glad that they didn't do that.
No, exactly. So now, the whole Dany thing. Let's move on to Arya in Braavos. This is like a really short scene. Like I feel like there was nothing really like. We've already seen the clip, and the clip was pretty much the only thing that was in this.
Yeah.
Right?
I had a little bit of a theory attack today. And I was thinking, I don't think that girl was that girl.
Well, dude, that's what I was saying. I was going to ask you, is that Jaqen Hagar?
Yeah. You know why I think that?
Why?
Because if you watch it again, which I've only seen it once, it really seemed like she was going light on Arya. So it's like, I feel like that girl would kind of relish in the fact that that Arya did something wrong and kind of take advantage. But she was very disciplined and she just did what she was there to do. And that's what makes me think it was Jaqen Hagar. Like he just went there to teach her a lesson. Not to gloat, not to do anything crazy. Even though it seemed like cruel, but it was a lesson.
Yeah, just hit her over the head a couple times and then see you tomorrow.
Yeah.
Peace.
But she didn't do anything over the top, right? So
Yeah.
it seems to me like, I don't know, it just didn't seem characteristic of that girl, because that girl was always snipping at Arya, like with a hint of jealousy.
Yeah, no, exactly. Which, if that is Jaqen Hagar, how does this even work? So, are these two faceless people, and they're just swapping faces? I don't even understand. And then one of them died in season 5. We see Jaqen drink a potion and drop dead.
No.
And then she takes the face of Jaqen Hagar.
You can't come to grips with it. It's just being like a psychedelic poison.
No, but they didn't show that. There's no.
Yeah,
Like, there's no.
Arya was looking at a dead body and pulled off 3 faces. Hers, the girl's, and Jaqen Hagar's. Like, none of those people were dead.
I know, but I feel
except
like.
for maybe the girl.
I know, but I feel like you can't just. Like it's like the same way you're justifying the plot hole of the assassins getting on the boat. You just say, oh, it was because of a potion, obviously, a poison.
Oh, you could see that she was blinded after the fact.
I know. So yeah, there's a lot going on there. I have no idea. And then
Plus,
how does height work?
it's a magic world. Who knows? It could just be magic, right? But I feel like they're not going to say that, so I think that's going to get cleared up. What exactly happened?
Yeah. And then you see that the last shot of Arya is her, all beaten up.
Yeah.
And there's a Titan in the back.
Yeah, that's a cool shot. I like that shot.
Yeah, it was a cool shot. It's kind of like showing, maybe what she's going to become.
Yeah, like it's a good frame use. Like
Yeah,
she's in total despair with the champion's back turned to her.
Yeah.
But it has it's a really cool shot. That's what I mean. That cinematography is there, and I feel like they're really nailing it on this.
No,
this
it's
season.
weird. It's like a movie. Every shot, it's like just the way the camera moves. Like it like moves in a way that's really like cinematic.
Yeah.
But we do go back to the wall. Here Ed goes to get wildlings. And Melisandre did say,
I'm gonna make a loud sound right now. 1 sec. Oh man.
Woo! What just happened?
Sorry, my furnace came on, or my water heater came on behind us, so I didn't want that noise on there. So sorry if you're hearing that on there, but I just closed the lid.
God damn. What you love about us guys is we're professionals.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we're at the wall. Melisandre said, I saw him in the flames. And then, which is, what I've been thinking. I've been applying everything that she's been saying to Stannis. It's actually Jon. It's a misinterpretation of her visions.
Well, doesn't you feel like she was like super emotional over all this? Like before she's just cold as ice and she just does whatever is needed to be done. But I feel like she was like really affected by this. Like she was really, really down and like into the next scene. I think that's why she revealed herself as that too. It just seemed like she's weakened by this. And maybe it's not the jewel at all. That's just kind of like what you think it was. And it's more of like her focus. And her focus is just like, oh man, like what am I doing wrong? And she's just sort of being like a self-conscious witch right now. She just doesn't have the energy, and she just needs to recharge her batteries.
Yes, I don't even know. Like, she goes to her room and she takes off this necklace, okay? Really insinuating that the necklace is the thing that keeps her young.
Yeah.
I honestly feel like it was just a mistake on continuity-wise. I feel like David Benioff and Daniel Weiss were just like, I don't think they'll remember. Let's just kind of throw that in there. It's like a new plot point that they didn't discover, and I feel like they're like, okay, yeah, that makes sense. Okay, thanks, George. We'll just throw that in this episode, even though she wasn't wearing her necklace in the other episode. And I feel like that's something that you don't really disclose with your director.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, I feel like the director just kind of did that, right? Because she's taking a bath. Okay, you don't think that she'd be wearing her necklace. So they just didn't disclose that plot point with the director, I think.
Yeah. It could
Which pisses me off. Like, stuff like that annoys me.
Yeah, but we'll have to... It remains to be seen. If they say it is the jewel, then yeah, they dropped the ball. But they haven't said it's the jewel yet. So I'm giving them the benefit of the doubt at this point. Because it seems like a really big reveal for them not to go... Okay, if she takes out the jewel, she's going to be this, like, literal, like, Snow White style hag. So I feel for continuity, I don't think they would miss that. I really don't think they would miss that. That's a big one. That's a big old boner to pull if they really did miss that.
But then it's like, do you think that's like her nighttime ritual? Does she always take that jewel off? Like, why does she take that jewel off? Like, is there any significance behind that?
It's just like taking off your jewelry.
I know, but, you know, she's at Castle Black. You know, who knows what the hell could happen? It'd almost be safer to keep it on.
I just, like, the way they marketed her before, it seemed like she was sort of like a new witch or a new priestess. So it just seems really weird that she ends up being this really old... Like, who knows, though? She could have, like, a weird curse, right?
I don't think so. I think it's just a disguise. So, like, I feel like just beauty naturally makes you more desirable.
Yeah, so it's just like her...
And I feel like that's, like, her thing. That's how she kind of gets her point across is,
yeah,
you know, this false appearance.
But then she just takes up her, like, witchcraft in her later days?
Yeah, but then is it, like, Mystique?
She looks like 90.
Yeah, but it's like, I think she's hundreds of years old. But I think, like, is it like Mystique from X-Men where it's like, you're not fully powerful unless you let loose and you actually focus on, like, yourself. Like, when Mystique is blue, she's stronger than when she's trying to make herself look a certain way.
Yeah.
So it's like, is she trying to, like, she's like, oh shit, like, Jon was the one I saw in the flames, whatever. Like, is she trying to, like, kind of hone in her magical power, or is it just kind of like a one-off, like, I'm going to just get comfortable?
It was like a very, like, not intimate, but it was, like, very personal. I guess it was intimate in the sense that it was just her, and she, like, it was almost like she was self-conscious about the whole situation. That's what I mean. Like, she seemed, like, really down. Like, she was really, like, kicking herself for what happened and everything that was just wrong. So that's why she, like, retreated to her quarters. And I thought she was still in the room with the guys that are holding out. So for her to be in a room by herself, no one's questioning her with everything that's going on at the wall or Castle Black, and she just goes and does that and just, like, hops into bed like a sad puppy. Like, it was weird. So there's something going on there. There's something more. I don't think it's just the jewel. I think there is some sort of focus, or it didn't seem like nighttime though, did it?
No, I think it was.
Because he says you have till nightfall to sort of, right?
Yeah,
and
yeah.
then she's
and
like, you can keep the
tomorrow,
Red Witch, and then it goes to her in, like, a dark room, which obviously would be dark, it's medieval times. But it's like, why is she going to bed then?
Yeah, and Nightfall is, episode 2 probably.
Or did she take
Actually, is it?
Did she take it off in order to pull some shit?
See, I don't know. This makes me think, like, I feel like this reveal, and she's kind of, like, looking at herself and that kind of thing. I think it makes me think that she's going to sacrifice herself for Jon.
Yeah, she might do something.
Only death can pay for life. I feel like she'll do kind of a sacrificial thing, and that's actually possible. Thoros of Myr, I think in the books, he sacrificed Beric Dondarrion or something to resurrect.
I think he does
Catelyn.
it. Yeah, he does it himself, I thought.
No, that's what I was going to say. It could be himself too. So I feel like it's very possible for her to say a few words and then have her life taken away to save his.
Yeah. Who knows?
But
It still remains to be seen. It was such a like, what the hell? Like people were talking about it during the day. You said right, but there's no way that they would have guessed that without seeing that, because that was so out of left field. It was like, whoa.
yeah, so this episode, like it's again looking at it, I say like I can see how it's a great episode. I love everything that added to it, but at the same time, I feel like I know too much for my own good.
Mm-hmm.
Like the fact that I
friggin'
knew
sitting
that
here analyzing every piece of it. So yeah.
I know, but it's like the fact that I knew that she had her bracelet off, like it just totally diminishes it for me. And the fact that I feel like the majority of people, or not the majority, that's ridiculous. Some of the people haven't seen Game of Thrones for a year. So when they say, "Wow, shock factor, the assassins just killed Trystane,"
Yeah.
they're not connecting it to, oh, they watched him sail off, you know? So I feel like they were just kind of writing for writing's sake. So, you know, it's not the best Game of Thrones episode. I'd probably give it if I would give it a score, I'd probably say 6 out of 10.
Really? Really that hard on it?
Yeah, I'm going to be hard on it because this show is my favorite piece of media ever. And I think if they're shit, I'm going to call it. And I think they made some mistakes.
I don't know. I still think it remains to be seen. I would just say, like, it was just a really mediocre catch-up with a couple of surprises. And really the only big one was at the end.
Yeah, but however, that being said, I don't doubt. I feel like this season is really going to kick ass. I just hope they don't, like, do shit like this again. Like, the crazy, like, writing leaps. But yeah, just a quick roundup. What do you think happens next episode?
I think it's going to be more on the wall. I think you're going to see... I don't know. Maybe something more with the Harpies. A reason of why they're, like, maybe demands now. They're going to start sending demands to Tyrion.
Okay.
Hopefully a show of spirit from Arya. Like, something she pulls that's pretty dope, even in her state.
Okay.
I'm hoping for a reveal or a little bit of a clue as to why the transformation for Melisandre. It can't go unanswered.
See, I feel like it will remain unanswered because I feel like the whole reveal was the necklace is what keeps her looking that way.
So she's just gonna give it to someone? Can she put it on Jon so they can transport the body even though he's dead?
I think it's gonna be the same thing as Maester Pycelle from King's Landing. You're gonna see her and then she's gonna put the necklace back on. Like I think that's just the way it is.
It's just
and
like
then
her
maybe
secret that they revealed to her that she's like sort of like flawed in a sense, where she's not totally without.
Yeah, exactly.
Without imperfection.
Yeah, and then I feel like, you know, maybe it'll be revealed that she's actually like a old bag when she's gonna resurrect Jon Snow. But I feel like that would only be it.
Yeah.
But yeah, looking at it for episode 2, like I feel like episode 3 is gonna be the holy shit episode. I feel like that'll be episode 3. You're gonna have Bran. I think you're gonna have flashbacks. You're gonna have Jon's resurrection. I think it's gonna be like crazy.
Yeah, I'm hoping for a Bran episode soon. I was hoping for this one to be a Bran episode. I feel really, like the people might not even remember who Bran is at this point. Know.
Well, especially now he's all grown up. But I thought it would be. I thought you would definitely start with Bran. But yeah, no, I think he's gonna be pushed, and I think the episode he is in. I think the first episode he's in. I feel like that's the episode Jon is resurrected.
Yeah.
But yeah, so episode 2, I think, like, I don't know. I feel like it's going to be similar to this, I don't know. I think it's going to be kind of still progressing. And then episode 3 will be boom.
Yeah, so you think episode 2 is part 2 of the first episode?
Yeah,
just
like
getting things started and then getting Dany where the widows are, getting Jorah and Daario closer to her. Arya, another lesson, but maybe a little bit more of a lesson.
Well, you will definitely see Sam. I know you'll see Sam next episode.
You think you'll see Sam?
Almost guarantee you'll see him traveling. The Wall, I don't know what they can do because Ed is getting the wildlings. You can't have the other White Night's Watch members go and try and get Davos because they'd be fucked. Like, you need the wildlings to show up. Unless you see a fight between... See, that's the thing. If there's a fight, Davos and the other crows are all dead.
Yeah.
So it's like you need the wildlings to kind of rescue them.
They're gonna
So
be down for the count, and then they're gonna come.
yeah, so it's like you need that all to happen at the same time, which means you can't have that happen in episode 2.
Well, they kind of
But it's
left it
like,
off during the day, so it has to be congruent timeline. So that's why I don't think they're gonna be moving too fast. It's
yeah,
gonna
so
be
it's
next day for Arya. What happened at the docks for Tyrion? Where Sansa and that crew go from there.
yeah.
So it is part 2 of the first episode.
I feel like Arya is just going to introduce another training method. Like, you're going to see her fight, but then maybe introduce a bit of running or, like, trying to adapt to your surroundings.
Yeah, like
It's going to be like
learning how to
another...
see with her
Yeah,
with her sound and hands kind of thing.
yeah, it's just going to be another step in the training process. Dany, I feel like you're literally, like, from the trailer when she gets her clothes ripped off, I feel like you're going to see that. I feel like you're going to see her kind of dealing with her situation.
Yeah, she probably gets like the initiate treatment of going into this temple.
Yeah, Jorah and Daario. I don't really know what could they introduce in the story that's kind of a revelation, because I feel like right now, okay, where they're going to Vales Dothrak. Like what could happen along the way? Like maybe
They probably have to do the recon. They get to the top of the mountain, look down the mountain, and see everything that's going on. Maybe they see her being transported, or they see some sort of ceremonial thing that's happening, but from really far, and they got to plan what they got to do.
Do you know how far she is? I don't. That's definitely not going to happen. She's far, man.
Well, that's what I don't get then.
I think it's going to be.
She traveled on
character-
foot. They're on horses.
Because the way I see that is there's no purpose in that scene. I feel like you would see maybe Daario sees his grayscale. Or like some kind of character thing like that, but nothing too like crazy.
Yeah.
Dorne, fuck Dorne. I don't know what's gonna happen.
They're just going to be talking about the aftermath of that.
Like King's Landing, like I guarantee the 2 assassination girls or whatever, you're not gonna see them. I think they're just gonna write them out. I don't even know.
No, man, they're totally going to be the ones to kill Tommon.
Yeah,
what
but not
other
now.
chess pieces is there?
Yeah, I don't know. And then, I feel like you're going to see Cersei and Tommon together with Marcella, with Jamie.
Boom. That's the perfect opportunity to strike a public funeral.
Definitely not going to happen.
You don't think so? They don't think they're going to strike at a public event. They want their message to be broadcast.
100%. That will never happen. Theon and Sansa, so they're with Brienne and Pod. I feel like you would see them get to a House Umber or like some kind of bannerman of the Starks.
Oh, you're talking like Theon, Sansa, and Brienne, Podrick kind of thing?
Yeah, I feel like they'll make it to House Umber or some kind of house.
Yeah.
And I think that's it. Are we forgetting any characters?
No, not that I can think of.
Oh, and Ramsay. I think Ramsay's gonna try and I feel like he's gonna have a revelation. Sansa's going to the wall.
There was a question about Ramsay I had, and you might know. Roose told him, "I hope she's coming back with a boy." Is that heavyset girl that he married?
Yeah, Walden.
So why did he mention that to him? Like, just in case she does have a boy, I can totally oust you again. Like you're really meaningless unless you're doing what you're told, kind of thing.
Exactly, it's a threat.
Okay.
It's a threat because it's like if you don't find your heir, if you don't find your wife, you ain't got no heir, which means hey, let's hope she's got a boy so I can give him
your spot.
Winterfell. Yeah, exactly.
So do you think Ramsay's gonna get kind of pissed and kill his dad?
I think that'll happen. I think he will, but I think honestly it'll happen later because totally, he's not going to.
He's not gonna.
100%. 100%. He's not gonna find Sansa. That means he loses his position, so he's gonna be like, "Okay, father, I will kill you." He'll kill him and Walda, and then that goes back to what happened before. He's gonna say Winterfell's mine, and he's gonna take it. And I think that's gonna happen, but I think that'll be a bit later. I think right now he's gonna try and communicate to the wall to try and get Jon or get proof that Jon, or figure out that Jon's dead. I want proof for that.
Why would he want to know if Jon's dead or not? What is the threat that Jon is to him?
Because Jon
is the Lord Commander?
Is the thing that stands between him and Sansa, I would think.
Yeah, but I feel like he would be at a safe distance. Like, Jon's not going to come march down because he's got an oath.
No, but it's that Sansa would go to the wall, and once she's at the wall, and Jon is with her, even though he has his vows, I don't think he'll let Sansa go.
Yeah.
So it's one of those things. Like I think episode 2 is gonna be crazy. I liked episode 1. It's like I
You
liked
gave
a
it
lot
6
of.
out of 10, dude.
I know, but I liked a lot of stuff about episode 1. But it's just the few moments, just kind of, it kind of stuck out to me, and it
You're
annoyed
a
me.
tough critic.
I am a tough critic, but yeah, guys. So we'll see you next episode. I'm really excited. Make sure we want to see your comments down below. I want to know all your guys' predictions and thoughts and theories. Let us know if you think we're right. Let us know if you think you're wrong. See you later, guys.